Welcome everybody to Bugbears and Brews. My name's Brian, and today we're doing the Encounter number 11 recap of our Storm King Thunder campaign. And so this one here was a bit more combat focused as opposed to the previous week. It started off with you guys continuing the fight in Triboar. The combats that took place between like when we picked up the session and when you made it to the boss fight type deal, I think you guys handled pretty well. There was some damage done by you guys, or some damage dealt to you guys, but nothing that I felt was too overwhelming. And the one thing I really liked about all this was, it was all continuation of several combats. So I think by the time we wrapped up everything, there was like 5, maybe 6 combats altogether, considering like looking at Eleni and all that kind of thing. And so it was nice to put you guys to limits once again. The boss fight was a trio of Axebeak riders. 2 of them seemed to be your standard run-of-the-mill guys. One of them seemed to be kind of a bigger, more badass one with a more armored Axebeak. The 2 lower guys went down pretty easily. They first harassed the guards by the main guard tower, but then left those guards up to the boss type guy. The boss guy wound up actually killing all of those guards. But the lesser orcs, they went down pretty quick. Their Axebeaks weren't hurt though, so I think Pavik and Gramak grabbed those Axebeaks and then started to in on the big bad boss guy. The one thing that you guys tried to do was keep your distance from the big boss guy because he had this kind of canister of living fire that would just deposit one right behind him wherever he ran on the Axebeak, so he's like leaving little bombs going off all over the place. He got knocked off from his Axebeak pretty early by the militia, so the militia kind of had him surrounded, but he took them all down pretty easily. You guys did some good damage to him, but in the end, when he realized he's the only person left and his Axebeak was away from everybody, away from him, and he couldn't, make a quick escape. Looking at a 5-on-1 or 4-on-1 because we had a couple people short this week. He decided to opt to go into the tower instead of stand out and fight you guys. You guys looked around at the town, you see it's all ablaze, and you're thinking, I'm not going in that tower to mess with that guy. So you guys rounded up the 3rd more armored Axebeak from the boss orc and headed off. First stop was to your campsite to gather britches and your gear and make sure everything is all set there. And britches was okay. The campsite seemed to be undisturbed for the most part. But as you're gathering goods, you started hearing more riders come towards you, and then those riders were smacked down by a disgusting crunch of bones. And it turned out Moog was there to protect you guys. Well, more to protect britches. And Moog was willing to assist you guys in getting out of the town. Luckily, you guys being in this kind of outskirt campsite, you guys didn't have much of an issue getting around town. You decided, what, I'm not messing with those fire giants, whatever they're doing. Moog did mention that they were attempting to dig up something. What it was, Moog doesn't know, but she knows it's not the teacups because she already has the teacups, and that kind of led to a little bit of questioning by the party, and it just turned out that Moog really likes the teacups that place throws out, and she'll go and gather the teacups every couple weeks whenever she's out this way. Looking around as you guys headed off, Eleni's house was still in good shape and presumably safe from fire, so you guys think your property there will be okay because Eleni's house was bought by the people of Nightstone through Lord Nander's funds, and so you guys believe that is now Nightstone's property. The Fancy Pants Hotel that denied Vander a room was absolutely just trashed and on fire, and that made Vander feel really happy inside. And then from there on out, you guys walked a couple hours. This was at nighttime now with everybody in tow. And Moog eventually found a clearing for you, or kind of made a bit of a clearing, warned you guys no fires for the night. And then you guys just kind of settled down. From here, we had a bit of a discussion about travel between towns. I'm more than willing to play it out, but I also mentioned I'm also willing to do like exposition type stuff to speed it up, so we're going in between towns. That way we can get to plot points sooner. And since we're on a milestone marker, people thought that was probably the better option. When we get back and we have the other 3 players that we're missing, if they don't feel that way, we can gladly switch it up. However, this was all 4 players that were there last week unanimously said, hey, let's go ahead and do exposition in between the towns. We'll play out the towns and any interesting things along the way. But as far as like random encounters and that kind of thing, they weren't too interested in it. That's fine with me. The random encounters are fun and all, but sometimes they can just be bogged down. I should say I'm still going to toss in some random encounters, but like rolling the die each day, once for the day, once for the evening, once for the night travel, or the nighttime rest, that's going to be all mixed out there. So you guys were kind of at a loss on where to go. And so Moog lets you know that she was actually on the way to see go to the Eye of the Allfather, which is a supposedly legendary, not quite sure if it's a real Shangri-La type temple that the giants have. Because there's an oracle there that you can ask any question and it will tell you the truth. And Moog is worried about her baby that she is carrying of Pavic's. However, Pavic's pretty sure him being a cleric and rolling a fantastic medicine check is like 97% sure that that baby's really just indigestion. However, he doesn't want to take the chance and is heading with Moog. I'm not quite sure the intentions behind there. However, the main thing is he's laying down like he's going to ghost Moog once everything's all said and done, and he's going to be going bye-bye. He's like, oh, I'm going out on a lot of adventures. They're dangerous for you. You can't come. That kind of thing there. And the party decided, you know what? We'll go too, because Moog's going to ask those questions, but we're going to ask our own questions. And so that way we can get a little information out of that trip there. However, the shrine is way up in the middle of the spine of the world, so you guys have a bit of a hike. That led us to our first exposition travel, which was going to Longsaddle. I described a little bit of combat there, but we didn't actually play it out. I mentioned that, hey, Moog is holding her own, helping you guys. She's really good at setting up camp and hunting and that kind of stuff. You can tell she's a bit of a survivor. In Longsaddle, this is a town known to be home to a group of eccentric wizards. And so we talked a bit about the wizards, and then you guys restocked on your supplies. And then from there, you called upon the wizards to do a couple things for you. The first thing was you wanted to go ahead and get that dagger of giant slaying transmuted into a different weapon. I mentioned, we rolled randomly to determine how much it was, and it turned out to be about 2,000 gold. While you didn't have that much gold on hand between trade goods like art objects, statues, and gems and that kind of stuff, you're pretty sure you had that amount. You're either a little under or a little over one way or another. We weren't sure which way it was, so we agreed that all of those like gems and art objects and that kind of stuff, they're nuked, they're gone. You guys have your gold. You guys are either getting a little bit of a deal or you're paying a little bit extra, but because of convenience fee, whatever. So the Harples being a bit of a magical wild card, we decided that we're going to just roll the weapon randomly. So we labeled all the weapons out and we rolled the die. And we did say melee weapons only, I will say that. And it wound up coming out to be a battle axe of giant sling instead of the dagger of giant sling. So that's a bit of a plus. And to my knowledge, I believe Pavic has that on hand now. Also, let's see here, we did that. Then the other major thing that we discovered was, the party being kind of strapped for gold. When you were hanging out at your inn for the night, you guys saw a wanted poster. I forget the gentleman's name, but his nickname is Weevil. And he's wanted for several murders of caravan members within the Dresden Valley. And so, really excited for this, and looking at the wanted poster, you got even more excited because Wanted alive, he's worth 5,000 gold. Wanted dead, he's worth just 500 to the town or the city of Ann Arbor, which is to the north of you guys. Try to dig up a couple leads on where he's at. Most people didn't have an idea. However, the drunkard in the inn told you, hey, I think I saw this guy up at Sonthral's Keep. And so I'll tell you a bit if you guys buy my drink. And there's a bit back and forth. And you guys wanted the information prior to him, you guys buying the drink. He wanted it the other way. And so no conclusion could come up, no party could be happy. And so he just said, you know what, you guys were like, we got enough information to go along with what, to set us off on the right course. He got really mad, called you guys, or called specifically Vander a pissant, and Vander smacked him down. Then apologized a bit about it, picked the guy up off the ground. The guy picked up his tooth. I think it was a crit. I think when he rolled the the noble backhand with the ring, so that was a lot of fun there. And so Vander, helped him out or helped him up and got him on his way. And as the doors swinging both ways, he hears the drunkard call Vander a pissant once more. Vander, kind of respected his ability to stand up to him again. So he paid for his beverages, but he did put the drunkard's name or description in the Vander's bad book. And so that's where we're leaving off for the time. I will say Moog did not go into Longsaddle. She's familiar with the town, and she went around and said she'd meet you guys about a day's north of Longsaddle. So looking here, our next stop is on the way to find Weevil, wherever we're going. Some people want to just pursue north. Some people want to head back south. We can talk about that when we get there, or when we start up next week. Some housekeeping. You guys are in Longsaddle, which is like a wizard / arcane wonderland. So there's some items that can be procured. Potions, common. Any common potion is 50 gold. Any uncommon is 150. Any rares 400. Not that I think we have anybody with 400 gold. And scrolls. First level scrolls are 50 gold. Second level spells 150, and then third level 400. Once again, I don't think we have enough for the 400 level 3 scrolls there. So. As I mentioned earlier, I think the combat felt pretty well balanced. It was interesting to see you guys not pursue that boss guy and kind of give up on Triboar. I like that you're not trying to do like, oh, there's town's in trouble. You guys are like, we have no ties to this town now that the child is gone and Eleni's gone. So let's just head out because we're clearly overmatched. And I like the fact that you guys realize you were overmatched as opposed to just running in and charging him blindly there. So I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.